My name's Brett. This is my '07 FJ Cruiser, and I just want to do a little video to get some stuff squared away for some people that might be looking at buying FJ Cruisers. Um, I've got a little list here I'm going to try to stick to. Uh, are they worth it compared to others? Um, yeah, they are. They're on par with most other stuff. Your Jeeps, the Forerunners, the Tacomas, they all have a little bit of advantage and disadvantage to them. Um, Performance-wise, man, they perform great. Engine's got plenty of power. You're not going to be running side by side with no Jeep with a 392 in it. But as far as that, they run great. I have no regrets about purchasing mine. I have a lot of work in it. They're all going to need work, um, some kind of work. They're just getting to that age. Um, on the other one I have here, are they capable to the others? I think I covered that a little bit. So I went to Kansas Rock Parks. There was we drove around out there a little bit, and then a Jeep Rubicon showed up, two door, and there was a beautiful 4Runner TRD. Um, and this was probably 5 years ago, so I think that was a newer model, and it was really nice. So I felt safe trying to follow them around because I thought they're probably not going to put the, these are new vehicles. They're probably not going to put them through anything I shouldn't be in. But I think we all got a little lost. We definitely ended up doing some stuff we shouldn't have been doing. And the Rubicon performed phenomenally. It really did. Um, and I was actually super shocked by the 4Runner. Man, it climbed. It did amazing. But the FJ Cruiser was right there with them. I was right behind them both, and the FJ Cruiser, it was factory then, and they're capable enough factory to get you in uncomfortable situations if you'll let them. Um, it just it, with the FJ Cruiser, and it's probably similar to some of the other Toyota products. It, if you have the four-wheel drive, you put it in four low, you engage your A track, and you just let the thing do its work. I mean, you don't have to just beat on it. I was absolutely amazed engaging that A track, what level that brings your FJ Cruiser to. Man, it just climbed through a lot of stuff. Um, I have a video I'll post on there. But I mean, I went through a pretty big mud puddle, and I was actually thought I was going to have to be towed out. I thought this is a bad idea, and I went against my instincts, and I put it in four low, engaged the A track. I think I felt one of the front tires, or maybe one of the rear slip just a little bit, and that A track kicked in, and man, it just walked right through it. Just walked right through it. So extremely happy. You don't have to worry about all that. Upgrading them is a little bit different than a Jeep. Both are, I would say, pretty similar in prices um, on modifications and things like that. With the FJ, same as depending on what you get. I mean, room, the way the doors function, the way you can put cargo inside and things like that changed amongst the brands that you get or type of vehicle within that brand you get. Um, the other one is what to look for if you're buying an FJ Cruiser. I've had mine posted a couple times, um, and I guess I just didn't really want to sell it, and that's what it comes down to. I didn't want to get rid of it. I thought I did, and then as people would inquire about it, I just I didn't want to do it. That's what it come down to. But when you're going to go look at them, I looked at quite a few, and this is the one I chose, obviously. Um, don't get super caught up on the rust thing. I got a lot of questions about that. And it really depends on who you are, your capabilities, or what access to capabilities you have. What that rust means to you and what it means to me are totally different. I needed a good solid frame, but mine had some rust underneath, things I could totally deal with. Tabs and things like that that could be grinded right off, clean that surface, put that new tab back on. No problem. Not a big deal. Most things on these frames are 100% repairable. Uh, but when you go look at them or get your pictures, make sure it's worth the trip to you. Go look at it. Put the clothes on to get underneath it and look at that thing and get your hands on it. Check the welds, check the frame, check for brittleness, things like that. But if you look underneath there and they send you photos and that frame's just all painted up, paint doesn't fix anything. Okay, it just puts a shiny reflective surface on it. It doesn't fix anything. They are, hollow frames. It's like a square tube, two pieces of metal welded together. And if it's just all painted up, you have no idea. You cannot see what's going on inside that frame. So if you can't visibly see where it's starting on the outside, you just don't know what's going on. And it's okay that they're painted. Just, you got to go look at it. And if you see one that's not and you see some rust, don't be too concerned. Almost all this stuff under here is repairable. I mean, there's probably some FJs out there that just aren't, but some people go as far to replace the freaking floor pans. Um, I've never seen one that bad though. But those are the things I think you need to look for. Mostly too, if you know what you're going to do with it, you need to focus, look it all over, obviously, but focus on the parts. If you're going to do a lot of off-roading, mild off-roading, or even overlanding, you really got to look at where all your hardware is going to be. Is it upgradable? Is the damage too bad to actually upgrade it? So there's a difference there. So someone who's just going to have a pavement prowler will be okay with some of the stuff. Someone who's going to go out and actually put it through the paces, some of that's not going to work for you. I mean, you might be able to bolt up to it now, but it might cause you problems down the road. So you really got to look at that stuff and make sure it's going to fit you and make sure it works for you. You can watch lots of YouTube videos and things like that, but like I said, what it means to someone like me, what it means to someone like you is different. So you got to make sure it's good for you and that you're comfortable with it. My next one is so lifts. There's a lot of questions about lifts. And a lot of them go to the 3-inch. That's what I did. Some go to 6. Some do the 2.5. It doesn't really, I think 3 is probably about where you're going to want to go on these before you start getting into some heavier stuff. Changes to them, excuse me. But when you do the lift, depending on your budget, so to answer the question that everybody's asking, personally, I recommend if you're going to do it and you're an average Joe, do the rough country lift. A lot of people are going to frown on it. I'm sure a lot of people have something to say about it, but I think it's a smart decision. Some people complain that, oh, well, I got the, rough country and the shock started leaking. That'll happen with the Bilstein, Old Man Emu, King Shock, whatever. I mean, it just, there's defects out there. It doesn't mean it's a bad company. Why I stress that is put the cheaper one on there to get you to the height you want to be. If it's the 3-inch, I think that's a good place to start. Put the cheaper lift on, spend the money on the hardware. Get you an adjustable panhard bar for the rear. That way you can get your rear end set right. Now what that does is if it's adjustable, it allows you to go up more and come back down, and keep your rear end square. Get your diff drop. Some people say you don't need it. You can read comments, they're like, you don't need it. I don't think that's true. I think you need it. You need those CV joints to come out as, like they would factory. You don't want them pinned like this. It don't work. You're just putting too much stress on everything. So save money on the lift, spend the money on the hardware. And I'd say with that extra money that you save, even do because you're going to have to do your upper control arms. Your lowers, if they haven't been replaced within a year or two of you buying it or before you purchase it, odds are they're frozen. So you won't get the alignment. You're going to have to cut them out. They'll have to be cut out. And what happens is your alignment hardware, the bolts, they just get jammed in there in the bushing. And it's rust and stuff, and it's a done deal. And if you try to hammer that out, you have these things called alignment tabs on each side. And if you try to hammer that out, and you can with an impact, But if that cog turns, it's gonna hit that alignment tab, and I mean, they're strong enough to keep the alignment, but they will bend. They'll bend right out. So a lot of people will, once all that hardware's out, they'll make sure they're good and straight, and they'll have somebody run a weld behind them. Sometimes you have to replace them altogether. That's still not a big deal. They make them where you get them on there, take it to a professional shop, and they cut the old one off, and they weld the new one on, and off you go. Um, but you spend the money on all that, and you're gonna have some left over. You can either, do your bumpers, get a better skid plate, um, get your rock sliders. I think it helps put you in a place where you can go out and have some fun and feel like you're not actually going to tear up your vehicle. Also, with that savings, the other route I would go is make sure you have recovery gear. Get your recovery gear sorted out. There's no point to spend $5,000 on a lift and nobody can even hook to you, and you can't get yourself out. It just, you know, you're kind of up the creek on that one. So that's where I would say you would put it, recovery and protection for your vehicle. It's just, you're going to have a lot more fun out there, and the rough country is going to let you get out there and do it. And then later on, once you figure out where you want to be, whether you're going to do overlanding and add the extra weight and all that stuff to the top and all the gear in the back, then you kind of know where you want to be. Gives you more time to research the type of shocks you want to put on it. It's just a better bet, because you could spend a lot of money going completely in the wrong direction, um, compared to actually what you want to do. So on the next one, uh, after my lift, just the durability of the whole thing, really haven't had any issues with it. Um, I gotta, we had to deal with the nightmare of getting everything out of there and putting everything back in. And I don't know if it's really a nightmare. If I had to do it again, knowing what I know now, I think it'd went a lot smoother. Um, but I haven't had any issues. I got its first alignment. I drove it for a while. You need to go in for a second. Okay. Put some miles on it, and then go in and get it realigned. It's going to be out of alignment. I mean, people can tell you whatever they want. You're kind of growing a little bit. Everything's real taut when you first put it on, and then things start kind of loosening up. So it kind of changes the dynamic of the way everything's working. But when I went, they said it was super easy to align. Um, Thanks to the control arms and redoing the bottom, they said, man, it was just, I actually got a little bit of a discount on it, to be honest. They said it aligned perfectly. So I was really happy with that. Going the extra mile on that, um, it really helped me out. Um, Let me see here. As far as buying one, I wouldn't be afraid of them. You can get any brand out there. It really comes down to aesthetics. What makes you happy looking at it, what kind of tugs on you. Um, to be honest with you, when these first came out, I didn't like them. That was not for me. And then, man, I get close to being 40, and I was looking at them. I was like, man, I mean, they're beautiful. And I love mine. I love driving mine. And they're super reliable. They really are. There's guys out there, I think they're in some of them are hitting the 500,000 mile club, which is super impressive. It is not uncommon to see these at 250,000 miles on them. They're doing really well. There's lots of parts out there for them. Some things can be expensive, because some parts, a little harder to find, but most of it's interchangeable. You just have to do a little bit of research. You might be able to get some stuff off of Tacoma or something like that. You don't have to order specifically for the FJ Cruiser. If you notice, when you order stuff, it'll give you a year list between Tacomas, 4Runners, and FJ Cruiser, and it's like, this part fits. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there, as far as modifications, repairs, and all that stuff. Um, and the other thing that helped me is, I did go cheaper on the lift. I did the rough country, um, and that's what was advised to me. So I did everything I'm telling you now, and then my radiator went out. Yep. But I had extra money to put a really high-end aluminum radiator in it, and it looks amazing, and I love it. I have other plans to do other stuff to it. But the moral of the story is here is just, make sure you're looking at it for the application you want to do. Make sure you get hands on it. Don't be afraid of them. They're wonderful vehicles. Like I said, I love mine. Uh, be cautious when you go do the lift stuff. A lot of the research is kind of seek and you'll find. I mean, like if you want to have confirmation that you can do a 3-inch lift and not do anything else to it, you're going to find someone that tells you you can do that. And you can, it's just not going to go very well for you. So I recommend, you know, you take my words and you try to make them work for you. Um, but that's all I've got on that, guys. They're good vehicles. I have been extremely happy with mine. I have 140,000 miles on it now, which watching everybody tick it up, it's just nothing. It's nothing. Um, but just take your time with them, and if you're gonna go do overlanding and stuff like that, you don't have to do all that stuff at once. It's just better to get all your protection on and things like that, and your recovery gear, um, so you're not stressed out there when you're playing around. And that's all I've got for you guys. Thanks for listening to me, and I hope to see you guys again soon.